guys, welcome back to another episode of YourViews Podcast. Thank you guys so much for coming back to another episode. Today's episode is brought to you by M3M Studio, located here in beautiful Grand Prairie, Alberta. That's where we're filming today. So for all your marketing needs, videography, photography, if you're a creative, definitely check out M3M Studio.
Guys, can you believe that is the third episode of our podcast? If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button, and also share it. I am your co-host, Natasha.
If you guys are new here, my name is Dems. We are Jamaicans who migrated to this little city called Grand Prairie a couple of years ago. And today we are joined by some very influential people.
Influential?
Influential indeed. We are joined by Anna Kuehl, who's a real estate agent here in Grand Prairie, Alberta. And the man himself, Kedan Luke, who is an immigrant who migrated from Jamaica to Grand Prairie, Alberta.
So in this episode, we'll be talking about all things real estate. So if you're coming here for the first time and you are living here already, go ahead, sit down and have a seat.
But before we get into the conversation, guys, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, become a part of the family. We're trying to get to 12,000 subscribers, but we can't do it without your help. Smash that like button, as not said before, and drop a comment. Let us know. Look how Anna look pretty up on the camera. You understand? And Kenan is over here not looking too bad himself. So we're just going to get into it, and we're going to let our guest talk a little bit. And we're going to start with Kenan.
Yeah.
Bruh, introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Kedan. Sometimes I'm here, people call me Keaton, but it's Kedan. Kedan Luke. From Jamaica, Ocho Rios, a small town just 5 minutes out of Ocho Rios called Parry Town.
Okay.
Moved here in 2020.
Hold on. You came to Grand Prairie in 2020?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We came in 2019, so that was just 1 year after us.
Oh.
Okay. Well, welcome to the big city of Grand Prairie.
Thank you.
And we got Anna. Anna, our audience, if they are following our channel, they would have met you already, but they haven't heard you introduce yourself. So, who is Anna?
My name is Anna Kuehl, and I'm a realtor here in Grand Prairie. I've been practicing for a year, and I work for Royal LePage, which is a great brokerage. They've been in Canada for 100 years, and the brokerage itself supports the Women's Shelter Foundation.
My introduction is not that fancy, by the way. So we have a very dynamic team today, guys, and I think the team is perfect. You guys know me already. My day job is a financial advisor, so I'm on the panel right now, not only as a host, but to speak about all the things that you guys need to do to put yourself into the position to get a house as an immigrant in Canada. And Anna is going to talk about the real estate market here in Grand Prairie, what's that like. And of course, she's not just pretty, she's very smart. I promise you guys. Right? So if it is that you're looking to buy a house, we'll leave her contact and all of those information. And Kedan will speak about his transition here because Kedan is doing big things as well. So we're going to talk about what that is like. And that's over here by our house last year, so I know how that goes. So we're going to talk about what that process is like as well. Understand? So I want to start with you, Anna, right? Now, somebody is looking to purchase their first house here. What are some of the things they should be looking for?
I mean, obviously, I think first when you're starting your journey, find a great realtor. You know, find someone, you vibe with someone that knows the market and, knows what to look for in a home.
Okay. Yeah. And when you say find a great realtor, what does that mean?
It means, you can either Google, realtor in Grand Prairie, or you can call me.
Yeah, right.
However you want.
But what I wanted to know is what makes a realtor great? Like what are the qualities that somebody should be looking for that determines what a great realtor is?
I think honestly, you'd really just have to call them up and talk to them and ask questions. Ask what's going on in the market in Grand Prairie.
Like someone who wants your phone call.
Is it possible? Is there a rating or a rating chart or something to look at to see if this realtor is performing or?
I think, not really. To be honest, there's not. There's some websites. I think there's one called Rate My Agent, but you have to pay to be on there. So I don't do that.
Oh, I see.
Maybe when I'm bigger, but it's really, you can't online. I honestly don't think that there is. Like, a lot of people go on the Grand Prairie Facebook page and say, like, what's a great realtor? And I think I think there are a lot of great realtors in Grand Prairie, but it really just,
But there's also a lot of bad realtors as well. Let's be honest.
I don't know.
Let's not pressure Anna too much.
Let me give my 2 cents on that.
Yeah.
What I think,
Yeah,
as
you guys.
I failed to mention, I'm in marketing,
Okay.
in communication. So what I think a good realtor is, and a good salesperson overall, is someone who understands the target audience
Yeah.
and understands the product.
Yeah.
So, for instance, I think that a great realtor is someone who takes the time to understand where I'm at in the journey, what are my outcomes, what are my pitfalls, what are the things I want to get away from, and then match me with what I'm looking for in the market. It's not about bringing me to a place and trying to sell me on this place. It's about figuring out what are my goals,
Yes.
and what do I want to get away from. You know what I mean? We call them
Stick with the bucket.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good match.
Definitely. So, Kedan, it's very interesting that you brought that up, but let's bring it back a little bit. Now, what brought you to Grand Prairie, and how has it been?
It's kind of, do you want the long version or the short? The short version. The short version is so I wasn't planning on staying actually.
Yeah.
So I had a business in Jamaica.
Literally.
And
He found love, guys. He found love.
That's what's up.
yeah, it was a growing business, and then my brother has been here for a while,
Yeah.
and he told me about a program that I could use to come here and get my permanent residence, express entry.
Yeah.
Signed up for the express entry, and then based on my qualifications, whatever, it came through pretty rapidly.
Yeah.
So I was trying to balance the whole business growth and come in here. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to come here, get the permanent residence, go back, work on the business. COVID happened. I came. So when I came here.
And he also found love.
So we're going to get to that part. So March 14th, supposed to do the permanent residence, the landing interview thing. And March 14th is when the whole world was shut down, right? So never got to do that. Had to do a lot of manual jobs, do whatever I had to do. Eventually. Fast forward a little bit. In my business, marketing was very important, but I wasn't good at marketing. So I had a marketing course. So during 2020, I had to do the whole marketing course, and then eventually I worked for the Chamber of Commerce. Got the opportunity to actually try out the stuff that I was learning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Made some waves there. Then eventually now I'm working for the County of Grand Prairie, where it's a lot of communication and some marketing as well. So after doing I'm missing out some parts of the story. You know what I mean? My wife played. I don't wanna. So before able to do the whole permanent residence thing and get the papers and so on, I was in church, and there's a version of this story that I want to tell, but probably not right now. But the Spirit moved a certain young lady, and she came to sit close by me in church. And then, long story short, we're married now. We have a 6-month-old baby girl, Malaika. And we have the similar mindset, right? And I think that's one of the main keys to success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Having people with like-mindedness.
Let me jump in right there, Kedan, because you said a number of stuff. One of the things that you said that resonated with me is the fact that life happened, right? And you are still in Grand Prairie. Now, how would you describe Grand Prairie as a city, right? You are an immigrant. You came here in 2020. What has that journey been like for you as a city? What would you say Grand Prairie is like?
Man, the city has been very good to me. To be honest, I came here, started all over, a new career. I have a lovely wife.
Yeah.
I have a nice family. We're doing big things. And in terms of city, when I came, I had the option also to go where most of my relatives are in Toronto.
Yeah.
Was there, and then I realized my brother was over on this side.
Yeah.
He had his own house, and he was making strides. And then when I was comparing salaries and way of life and everything, on this side, things were better. And then actually I was in church one time, and my pastor mentioned that a lot of people who come here from other cities or so on, they come here because either they come for love or for work, or a lot come just to make some more money.
Absolutely. Now,
Before you go, I'm curious. You said earlier that you had to do some jobs that weren't like in your field.
Okay, so all right. So while I was in Jamaica, Actually, I'm a science nerd. I actually I used to teach biochemistry to nurses.
Okay.
And then I had a business as well where I was providing Wi-Fi on buses. It's called Wi-Fi Jamaica. I still have the Instagram up, but most things are down now. So like on the Northfield Express, all the tour buses or so on, if you go to Jamaica, you have Wi-Fi on a bus. It was my business. Wow. So, I had to after sitting here and trying to make that work, I had to literally watch the business go right down, right? I was in my brother's basement, and then his friend, which is my good friend right now, Jack. Jack came over one time. We were having drinks, talking, and then he was doing concrete work. Yeah. And he's like, "Yo, you ever do any stuff like this before?" My dad's a building contractor, but I never did it, So I went out there, and then I was just trying to figure out, because I'm very competitive. I was like, all right, I need to know what I need to do to succeed at this thing. Yeah. I saw that on large pours there was a lot of guys, and then on small pours there were a lot like less. Yeah. I wanted to be the one who's always called on all jobs. So I needed to be very efficient at this thing, It's back-breaking work or whatever. Yeah. Never did anything like that before. I had back pains, all kind of stuff, I never needed the gym.
In other words, that makes concrete.
Yeah. Pulling and everything, So I had to do that. And then, while I was doing all that, to be honest with you, the real thing that caused me to have a transformation, I got saved. You know what I mean? I realized I had to call out to God, because I was just watching my whole life fall apart, and I need to rebuild. So, literally I saw, I was building out from on the floor. Then I started to do flooring indoors. I started to paint walls. And while that time was going on, my life was building up in the same way. Yes. You know what I mean? And then in the process, I reached to a point where, most times when you're before transformation, you want to give up. Yeah. That's when I met my wife, I was at the point where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to finish all this thing. Why am I here in the cold and things aren't working how I thought it would work? And I gave my life to God, and I was like, God, how come you're not making things just work? Why do I have to go through all these struggles? Yeah. You know what I mean? And then, I met Clarice, and then I was on a job actually when I met her. She has her business in the mall, and then we're supposed to meet, and the date ended up happening right beside her business, because she wanted to use that as an excuse in case I was a creep or whatever. She could just, I gotta go back to work. So
she's telling her coworker, call me in 10 minutes. Call me in 10 minutes.
So all that worked out and everything. And then my formula for success in life is just be, do, have. So during that process, I had to learn to become that person. You know what I mean? So while I was in that process, and then becoming that kind of person to get the outcome that I wanted to get. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's how I saw my life just graduating from level to level. I had to beat level 1 first to go to level 2.
Well, that's amazing. I feel like I know Kedon a lot better than I knew him before. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. Anna, we're not going to overshadow you, Anna, right? So, of course, we're talking about real estate, and we're talking about immigrants transitioning to a point that they can own their first home. Yeah. Do you think, based on your experience in the real estate field, do you think immigrants generally are able to purchase a home relatively quickly after being here, or do they have to be here for decades before they can purchase a house?
Right. So there's a thing called the foreign ownership ban, and it's something that came into effect January 1st, 2023. So it's for a period of 2 years, so it will expire next 2025. And it is more or less some restrictions on people moving to Canada, and then, or actually more really people outside of Canada buying in Canada. Now, it definitely makes it a lot easier when you move here. So there's different things, different exemptions. Like if you've got a work permit, and you're a temporary resident, you can purchase property. And then there are certain areas that really only applies to, for example, Grand Prairie is one of those areas, but outside of Grand Prairie is not.
It's not.
Yeah. So, the smaller towns like Sexsmith and Claremont, Wembley, those kind of things.
Probably because, probably housing are generally cheaper there, so persons outside of Canada probably buy those houses more. So probably that's why they're not a part of it. Maybe. What do you think?
I think it's more actually because they don't sell as quickly there. Grand Prairie is definitely more of a hotspot. And I think the government doesn't want to inhibit that growth if, that's that would play a role.
What's the average cost of a house here in Grand Prairie? And I'm not talking about those houses out by Courage Lane or by Taylor's Estate. I'm talking about an average house for an average family. What's the average cost?
300,000.
And
Yeah.
what can that get you?
Well, it can get you a nice detached home with a double car garage if you choose.
Okay.
4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, about 1,200 square feet.
Big up to all the people in Toronto and Vancouver.
Yeah. And then a lot size of about 6,000 to 8,000, depending, could be smaller, could.
I gotcha. So it could be a little bit more, a little bit less. I understand. Is the housing market very active right now? Is there a lot of houses for sale, a lot of houses on the market right now?
So it's a very unique time in real estate for Grand Prairie. We are about 50% less inventory than we have been in the past couple of years. So there's lots of buyers out there, not very much things to buy, which is it can be very frustrating as a buyer. Good for a seller because not a lot of competition.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough. I have quite a few buyers, and we're scrounging.
So there, it's more. So demand is outweighing supply at the moment. So when that happens, prices go up.
Yes,
It's
and
a
that's what
seller's
we're
market.
we're gonna start seeing that in particular this year because interest rates are predicted to go down. And so those prices are gonna go up. And,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. So Nance, let's talk to you a little bit because you're by your host and I'm going one tack in that conversation. Right? So what was that process like for you? As an immigrant, moved to Canada in 2019. I'm pretending like I don't know the process. I wasn't a part of it, right?
Okay.
What was that process like for you?
Surprisingly, it was smooth. I didn't expect it to go over that smooth. Thanks to a realtor that is really nice too. But it compared it back to Jamaica. This process is smooth. You have your down payment and then it's just step by step. It's just smooth. It's like a very smooth process. It doesn't take long. It takes like a month.
Yeah, in Jamaica, you have to go to the land office.
You have to do so much things.
You have to do so much things.
Yeah.
It's definitely, like, I'm not lying, like, it probably takes you, it can take you probably up to 6 months.
Yeah.
Throughout all the process, the
Yes.
back and forth, that's how difficult it is to purchase, yeah. So you find that it was smooth. How much deposit did you have to pay?
5%.
5%. Okay.
I feel like he doesn't know.
I know, but we're
okay.
talking to all the
It's
persons
okay.
who are watching the video
The
or watching the
banker.
podcast who wants to know that, boy, what if I can't come up with 20% or what if I can't come up with 10%, right? So typically speaking, 5% is what you need as long as you're going to be living in the property. If you're going to be renting it, how much you need?
Can be 20 to 25%. And I will say a lot of people think that that's only on your first home that you buy, but it can be any home that you buy after as long as you're living there.
As long as you're living there. That's the operative thing.
Right?
And I'll tell you this, guys. I tell you guys this for free. No one knows if you move. I'll just say that. I just say that, right? Yeah. So 5% if you're gonna be living there and stuff. Okay.
My question, is it easy to get what you call it? The banks to give you that approval?
That's probably my question.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you're the banker.
What's the question?
What does a bank basically require of you to show that you can get an approval to buy a house?
That's a very good question, actually. And fundamentally, you need a mortgage to get a house, right? And there's two things that the bank is going to look at, and it's income and credit. So you want to make sure that as a new immigrant, one of the first things you start working on is your credit. Building your credit in Canada, there's different processes to do it. Of course, the main thing is just to get a credit card and pay it off properly, and then you can build your credit. But no credit in Canada is just as bad credit. So you want to make sure that you're working actively on your credit to get a mortgage. 5% down, you are expected to be default insured. Now, default insured is what covers the lender. So you have different companies. I'm not gonna give any free promotion over here, but you have different companies that does default insurance. And in order for you to be default insured, you need a credit score of at least 680. So if your credit score is above 680, fantastic. If it's below, you need to get working. That's why you need to be default insured, because the bank can approve you and default insurance refuse you. And if default insurance refuse you, then you're not able to get a mortgage. Now let's talk about income. Now your income is important because there's something that's called total debt service ratio. What you earn compared to what you owe. So in other words, not taking a bag of loan. If it is that your goal is to buy a house, you want to make sure that you have enough surplus cash, enough fluid cash that can pay a mortgage. Because the bank is going to look at what you have left after all your expenses. So your total debt service ratio shouldn't exceed 42% of your total income. So if you earn $10,000 for the month, knock on wood, and you owe more than 4,200 in loan, then you have exceeded the debt service ratio. You want to make sure that you are beneath that 42%, and then you're good to go. Does that answer your question?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And have a 5%. And the 5% has to be in your account for at least 3 months. Now, one of the things that the banks also ask is that the funds that you use for your down payment, it has to be your money. You cannot borrow this money. It cannot be money that you incur through debt. It has to be money that you saved over a period of time. So that money has to be in your account for at least 3 months. If it's not in your account for more than 3 months, say for example, you sold an asset or whatever the case may be, and you have that lump sum deposit, as long as you're able to show where the money is coming from, then you're good. And that's a way to mitigate financial fraud, money laundering and stuff like that. The money has to be in your account for at least 3 months. That's enough
Thank you,
technicality.
the banker.
Yeah, that's enough technicality.
Yes,
And if
thank
you're
you.
looking for a mortgage, don't come to me because I wish from work the interest rate is very high. I'm not going to call your name. Kedan, do you own a home?
Yes.
What was that process like? I'm not sure if your wife owned a home before you or if you guys acquired it together. If you want to share that, that's up to you. But I just want to know what is home ownership in Canada like.
Okay, so my wife does own a home. She owned a home before we got married, and so she got it like in the July, and what was that like? She got it a few months before we got married or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, I've experienced the whole home ownership there first. Understand the whole mortgage and when things break down, what you got to do to fix it and all that kind of stuff. And then we're in the process right now with a colleague of Anna's right now, Jolene.
Okay.
You know, to get a new property. But the reason I was mentioning what makes a good realtor and so on, I was mentioning where you are in terms of your journey and what you're looking for, is because what we're looking for right now. So we started out with the property there where we're actually living in the basement right now, and we have the upstairs as a short-term rental property.
Okay, Airbnb.
Yeah. So the currently that offsets all the costs for the mortgage and bills and so on. So so that kind. But the thing is that we have a plan that we're working off of. You know what I mean? So we have this financial plan that we're working from, and then we're able to save some money, like you mentioned, and able to figure out a way to come up with the funds to get the next place that we're trying to get. So we realized that the whole short-term rental market is pretty good here.
Yeah.
Also for like crew homes and so on. So the next play was to get another place to add to that to that property. So the next one we're going to buy right now, we're going to live upstairs, and downstairs is going to be a short-term rental. Okay. And then the entire place that we're in right now is going to be on the market as well.
And guys, Kedan has been here just since 2020. That's like 4 years ago. And he's able to accomplish all these things. So if you guys are always wondering, does it make sense to move to Canada? The answer is always going to be yes. But you have to be smart and choose where you go to, because this is possible because we're in this little beautiful town called Grand Prairie. If you're in somewhere else, it's probably a lot different. So you have to take that with a grain of salt as well. Right? Definitely. Now, Nuts, I laugh because every time I remember that you have a house, I have to laugh because I know where you're coming from on the journey, right?
Yeah.
Now, simple question, is it possible for a new immigrant who comes to Canada with limited resources, have to mix concrete, have to work as a cleaner, low income jobs, to buy a house?
Evidence of that is possible because I did that. I didn't mix concrete, but yeah, I was a cleaner and I worked my way up and was able to acquire a house
Yeah.
this year. So last year, anyways. Yeah. So yeah, it
Oh,
is
that's right,
possible.
we're 2024.
Yes, I keep on forgetting.
Yeah, my brain is still in 2023. Yeah, okay. So it is possible.
It is possible. It is
100%. Kenan, you mentioned that you are from a small town close to Ocherius.
Yeah.
Of course, your life in Jamaica was on the up and up because you had a business. Everything was going good for you. What made you give that up to come to Canada?
Well, as I said earlier, I never had a choice at one point. You know what I mean? Because I came here with the intention to go back and then build a business. I had so many big plans.
Yeah.
I did this. I pitched the business to try to take over the Wi-Fi at the airport and everything. I was excited for that. And then COVID happened. I couldn't go back.
Yeah.
So I realized I have to make it here. So I was looking at the market, trying to figure out where could I fit in. Since I'm doing science and so on, my brother worked at the college. I was thinking about that at one point. Then I was like, you know what? I really want to do marketing.
Yeah.
And that's where I started to do marketing courses and so on. And then, so while I was doing the concrete in the daytime or whatever, when I'd go home, I'm doing some marketing courses and so on until opportunities present themselves. And then from there, things just gradually progressed.
Simple question. Do you looking back on all of that, do you regret it?
I do not, because if I'm looking at how things are progressing compared to how they're going slower, I'm really happy for it. And the holistic approach, the family life, married man thing and everything, the lifestyle, yeah, it's way better.
Way better. And Anna, what am I gonna ask you, Anna? Where can somebody find you?
I'm on Facebook. Anna Kuehl. I think it's Anna Kuehl
Say Instagram.
Royal.
Instagram.
I'm so okay. Right. Yes. Instagram. I think Anna Kuehl at Royal LePage, or
Okay.
if you search those, that'd probably come up.
And are you just a realtor who sells property, or do you help persons to buy as well?
Right. So I can do either or. And something a lot of people don't know, the person who has, a realtor who has the home listed,
Yeah.
actually any realtor can help you buy that home. So I can help you buy any home in Grand Prairie, depending on, no matter who has it listed.
Are you taking on new clients, or is there
Yes.
books?
Nope, I'm always taking on new clients for sure.
And guys, like Anna helped us to purchase our home, so 100% we recommend her. And you guys know, Dems is very picky, and I'm very needy as well. So there's a lot of 10 o'clock phone calls and a lot of 9:30 phone calls. So, and you know what? Like Anna's never missed one of my calls. So if you want somebody who is there for you, we highly, highly, highly recommend Anna Kuehl. Even though she doesn't remember her Facebook name, we'll find it and we'll share it in the description right down below. Be sure that when you guys reach out to her, it's to purchase a house. That's one. And also say that, you saw her here in the Diandersons, and definitely she'll take extra good care of you. Kenan, somebody's watching this right now and wants to move to Canada. What would you say to them?
Come on, do it. You know what I mean? It's kind of it's a big step because the whole cold and everything. Like minus 34 and all them things.
Freezer.
Trust me, but when we say Jamaica, if you want good, your nose have to run. So the thing said, you know what I mean? Yeah, so definitely, I mean, it's a good step in the right direction. Grand Prairie, a good place for family. You know what I mean? Good place to build up your career and to have a decent life.
Fantastic. And what do you say about that, Anna? I know you're not an immigrant, you're a Canadian through and through. Grand Prairie, we spoke about that already. You have seen Grand Prairie grow so much over your lifetime. I can almost guarantee it. Like, what do you think about immigrants coming into Grand Prairie?
Great. I think it's fantastic. I mean, I'm always a more is merrier kind of person. And I think Grand Prairie has a ton of opportunity for anybody who is a go-getter, who's a hustler. You know, come on down.
Was a hustler?
Like, come on, you know, like if you know how to work, you're gonna do well here.
Yeah.
Really, that's the bottom line. Like,
Do you see yourself living anywhere else right now, or
No.
is Grand Prairie home?
I love Grand
How
Prairie.
long have you lived there? All your life?
So I was born in Dawson Creek. My mom and dad were driving through Dawson Creek, and it was time for me to be born. So I never really ever lived there. But then, you know, I've lived in Hythe, so it's a town about 45 minutes away from here. Lived in Beaver Lodge, and then moved here when I was about 16.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've kind of, and I lived on the island actually for 3 years.
That's Vancouver
During that
Island?
time. Yeah, I lived in Souk,
Okay.
BC, which was awesome. Then came back to have babies.
Plural.
right?
Babies.
Babies.
And she has a baby who's 18 years old?
Yeah, she just turned 18 December 28th. So.
Yes, guys. She has an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
She's
Whoa.
not as young as she looks.
Yeah.
Got me fooled.
It's a trick.
It's a trick. We need to be drinking some of that. I know they said that black don't crack, but guess white don't crack either.
The fountain of youth.
Kedan, you have a business that you do with your wife. Talk a little bit about that. I want people to know about that business.
Okay, so the family business, right? I'm very excited about this because I am normally the after picture, right? Before and after.
Yeah.
So it's Restore Hair Loss and Scalp Clinic, where if you have problems with your scalp, problems with hair loss, any scalp related or hair loss related situation, you can go there. We have a trichologist who is certified and can help you with your hair loss.
Okay.
So I don't want to sell the idea of giving you this treatment or that treatment. It's more of seeing the trichologist, get a consultation, and then you get something prescribed that is personalized to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. Because if you saw my before picture, my real life, I didn't have a hair line. And now look at the thing right there.
I should come and visit you guys, but where are you guys located though? Like for persons in Grand Prairie watching this, let them know where you guys are located.
Okay, you see the Timmy's downtown?
Yeah.
It's right beside there.
Okay.
Okay, so you can't miss it.
100 out here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So once you see it, I think the best move for you to do is get a consultation. At least you'll figure out what's the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you can decide what you want to do to get it.
Now, is it gonna cost me an arm and a leg to get back this airline?
Definitely not.
No?
What it's gonna cost is consistency. Just be consistent with the program. Whatever program you're recommended, just be consistent with it, and you're good to go.
Man, like I'm not even joking. Like both of you guys, like you guys are here. We appreciate you guys being here, but we just want to like big you guys up, man. Like you guys are doing big things. Like we say this to Anna all the time, and she think that we're joking. Like Anna, we want you to be the biggest realtor in all of Alberta, and I'm not even just saying that because you are an amazing person. You have helped us on our journey, and we just want to say like just keep doing it, and hopefully you're, as in Jamaica we say, hopefully your hand can't hold water in terms of like your basket is constantly overflowing with clients, with opportunities, because you deserve it, and 100%. You do the work, and you are gonna be getting the rewards, because none of them have nothing over you. Anyways, and Kenan as well, man. Like being here in 2020 in just 4 years, bro. Like you have accomplished so much, and we just want to say congrats to you, congrats to your family. Big up, like we have huge respect for you guys. You guys are doing it on a large scale as Jamaicans who made the move as well. We know the challenges. The initial stage of migrating is difficult. Starting over from zero, like even my own story, everybody know it already. We literally have to start from zero to build back ourselves, and to see you doing it, and you're just making it and making moves and doing it the right way. We just want to say enough respect to you, enough respect to your wife who's in the off camera right here as well. Big up wifey, you understand? And just keep doing it. Keep doing it, and honestly speaking, like if I don't get back my airline, we're not gonna be friends anymore. That's what it's gonna be, right? Definitely.
We got you covered.
Yeah,
literally.
Yes, guys. So we're gonna be wrapping up right now, but you know how we do it here. We give our guests the last say at all times. Guys, there's gonna be thousands of persons watching this video. There always is. There's always that person all around the world, every continent you can think of. Kenan, let's start with you. What would you like to close out by saying to those persons?
I just want to say, okay, your conduct is determined by your creed. So if whatever result you want to get, you have to have a plan.
Yeah.
So for us, the kind of plans that we've been making is based on the outcome that we wanted to have. So right now, we're not fully living out the plan, but we can see a clear path towards it. So just in general, just get your mindset right, and then eventually, the outcome will come.
Outcome will come. What about you, Anna?
I think that was awesome. But also, owning a home isn't as hard as it sounds. That 5% sounds like a big chunk of money, but like I said, Grand Prairie is a land of opportunity. Work hard, and it'll happen before you even know it.
Absolutely. Guys, if you haven't subscribed already, just hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, you don't know what it is. Drop a comment, drop your flag, let me know where you guys are watching from, and just drop enough respect to Kenan and enough respect to Anna in the comment section as well. You're my co-host. Okay, no respect to Nas for being a part of the Andersons, the other half of the Andersons. Is that it all?
I thought you were gonna say Queen. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I was just trying to put on the spot now. Yeah. So let's do that over. Big up to the Queen. Her Highness. Empress. Nuts.
See you guys.
Big up, guys. See you guys.
Yeah, big up.
Thank you.
That's it.